Hey everyone, it's Mike Huber, founder and CEO of the Freshman Foundation and certified mental performance consultant. So, if you're watching this video, then you've probably followed my social media at some level in the recent past, and maybe you're familiar with my podcast that I host called the Freshman Foundation. But you may not really understand what it is that I do for a living. So I'm here to talk about that just for a bit. I have a master's degree in sports psychology, and I help young athletes to reach their potential through mental performance training, right? So working on mental skills, giving them the tools and perspective to help them to perform at a higher level. And I got into the field about 4 years ago after leaving my first career in business and moving into a master's program in sports psychology. Learning about sort of the ins and outs of how performers compete mentally, what they do to be better, how do they cope with stress, anxiety, lack of focus, all those things, right? So I learned that. And then after spending a year taking classes in that subject area, I then went on to do internships. So I worked at a high school for a couple of years, interning with baseball and basketball teams, working with the athletes in terms of formulating a mental approach or game plan and learning new skills to help them cope with some of the pressures that come with being a high school athlete. And maybe if you want to go on to college, what that looks like. So that inspired me. I got into the field because I wanted to help others, and having the time working with athletes, closely for a couple of years, spending hundreds of hours, sitting with them, watching them, talking to them, doing sessions with them one-on-one. It really inspired me to learn more about the transition from high school to college, which I'm really curious about. So the podcast, if you've listened to it, brings on, new guests to talk about different areas of sport, whether it's the mental side, physical side, academics, different elements of transition, potentially addiction and other behaviors that might come out of the pressure that comes with being a high level athlete. So I'm just curious about it, and I love helping other people, helping young people, families to find their way and reach their potential and be happy ultimately, because sport is going to end someday for athletes and myself included. And we need to have a purpose beyond that and have the tools to deal with, the loss that comes with leaving sport. So, or moving from level to level, leaving friends behind. So that's my inspiration. I love what I do. I'd love to tell you more about it. Please check out my website, either Michael V as in Victor Huber.com or freshmanfoundation.com. And in either of those places, you could book a free call with me, a free session, and we can talk more about, what you're trying to accomplish. And I can tell you more about how I might be able to help. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.